As with many things in wrestling, the Joe Hendry phenomenon caught my attention just before it reached the mainstream. In no way have I been a die-hard Joe Hendry fan from day one, but when I found out that a wrestler had sang his own theme song and somehow got it into the UK charts, I had to look into who this guy was, and I have to say, I get it. Getting that song into the charts was no easy feat for Joe Hendry. Whilst a song can be uploaded at the click of a button, the uploading of the song to Spotify was in many ways a culmination of years of hard work, including years of in-ring work, a healthy dose of diss tracks on fellow wrestlers, and a swathe of social media ingenuity. And I'm thankful I did know about Joe Hendry slightly before, as it made his arrival at NXT all the more exciting. For those who are unaware, Joe Hendry is a wrestler who has performed for over 10 years on the independent scene, as well as working for the World of Sport reboot in the UK, more on that another time, and working for TNA in its own recent mini-renaissance. And in June 2024, he made his first appearance for the WWE in a 25-man battle royal to determine the #1 contender for the NXT Championship. Well, I say his first appearance, but technically his first appearance was on Raw in 2014 where he would play a Russian diplomat, despite Hendry himself being a Scotsman. On a personal level, one of the great enjoyments I take from the Joe Hendry phenomenon is partly tied to him being Scottish. As an Englishman myself, I'm used to wrestling gimmicks on mainstream television being very limited for stars from the UK. If you're English, you're at some point going to be made into a king, or at some point you're going to get some cheap heat explaining how all of a sudden you hate America. If you're Irish, you're an ancient Celtic warrior or a bar fighter, and if you're Scottish, it's kilts and swords for you. This isn't me saying that Joe Hendry is trying to escape his Scottish heritage. It's just interesting to see a UK wrestler not be put into a box. What's more likely to happen, and subsequently disappoint me, is that Joe Hendry eventually gets treated like a joke and is relegated to a lower mid-card novelty act if he does begin appearing full-time for WWE. I'm not saying we need to try and meme him into the undisputed title picture. I think such a move would be forced and would be a misuse of the "we want Cody" power that the fanbase has. There's also currently no place for him in the world title picture, as Damian Priest has become a full-fledged babyface talking about how Gunther has no heart. At the moment, I'd say that Joe Hendry, even going against Damian Priest as a heel, would have the fans on his side. Damian needs people like Gunther, an obvious old-school style heel, to thoroughly establish himself as a face. Up against Hendry, we'd be booing Priest. However, Joe Hendry's arrival in WWE does make for exciting times in the world of wrestling. I could see him becoming an arrogant heel or a defiant babyface. It's a fairly unique phenomenon that contains within it a familiarity that makes the Joe Hendry movement special. I think the song, the entrance, the look, and the entire vibe contain within it a timeless X factor that would have had fans singing "I Believe in Joe Hendry" in any era from the 80s up until now. Though in the edgier times of the late 90s, he would have definitely been a disgustingly slimy heel. Either way, I'm really excited for what's to come for Joe Hendry, and I'd love to find out what you guys think in the comments below. I'll probably run a couple of polls about Joe Hendry in the community post section of my channel, asking the all-important question that I asked you now. Do you believe in Joe Hendry? Thanks for watching. I've been Sarcastic Mark. Help me get this video to 3 billion likes. Face reveal at 1 million subs.